Hey everyone, this is Nolan with BestFit, and today I'm going to be going over how you can schedule lessons out of your lesson plans. So in the last video, we went over how you can simply upload some curriculum images like the table of contents or the scope and sequence or lesson plan outline, whatever it may be included in your curriculum. And in just a few minutes, you can have all of your lessons for the year for that subject uploaded to the system to your account. And now we're going to look at what does it look like to actually use that lesson plan on a day-to-day basis when you're scheduling out your week or your day, or if you want to schedule everything out in advance, it'll only take a few seconds to schedule everything. So let's jump into it. So this is an empty calendar that we have here, and in this top right corner, there's the lesson plans tab that I can open up, and I can see all of my lesson plans that I've uploaded for all of my students. And for starters, let's just take a look at how easy it is to just drag and drop things onto the calendar. So if I open up this lesson plan, you can see I have all of these lessons in order for English for my student Matthew. And if I'm scheduling for Friday, today's Thursday, and I just want to schedule everything out here, I can just drag and drop things onto the calendar. Let's say I start at 7 a.m. and I want it to last a half hour. And there you go. Now I have 7 to 7:30. We're going to be doing English, learning about the brain. And it's just that easy. So now I can move on to history and I can say, okay, this is my next lesson for history. And I can say that we're going to do that once English is done. That's also going to take a half hour. Math, we can go ahead and grab the next lesson for math. Math is going to be a little bit tougher for us. It looks like this one was already set to complete. Math's going to be a little bit tougher for us. Maybe that one's going to take an hour. And then we can drag in the next lesson for science as well. Science is also going to take an hour. It looks like this one is also marked complete for some reason. And just like that, I have everything scheduled out for the next day for Matthew. And then if I wanted to move on to my next student, I can go down here to my filter. I can see clearly this is all Matthew's lessons, and then I can go to, for example, McKenna. McKenna has nothing for tomorrow, so then I can go ahead and go to um, Oh yeah, yes. I forgot I was filtered for McKenna. So these are all McKenna's lesson plans right here. I can go ahead and drag and drop hers on there as well. Maybe she's going to start later in the day, maybe around 11. Maybe she's doing some a bit more intensive English, so maybe hers is going to take an hour and a half. And just like this, I can just go through and schedule everything out for the next day rather quickly. Again, some of these are marked complete. That's just from testing from earlier. And again, just bringing in some concepts from some of the other videos, I can go ahead and print out this schedule. So this is obviously the week view, so it's going to show me the whole week. But as you can see, these are all the lessons that I've just added. And yeah, so it's just super easy. You can just drag and drop things from this little panel right here so that you can schedule your weeks. So now let's take a look at what it looks like to schedule everything all at once with the auto schedule feature. So really quickly, I'm just going to use the batch edit to get rid of all of these that we've just added. So I'm just going to delete all of these selected events. Don't worry, they're not going to completely disappear. They're just going to be taken off of the calendar. They're still going to be in these lesson plans. And if you wanted to delete these from the lesson plans, you're going to have to go to lesson planning, and then go here and delete lesson like this. But now let's take a look at auto schedule. So there's two options here. You can either schedule out your week. So if you want to just do this as like a weekly ritual when you schedule out all of your lessons, you can do that. Or after you upload all of your lesson plans, you can just schedule everything out for the entire year. And so let's just take a look at what that looks like. And so if you're a little bit more regimented, you always know you're going to be doing English at 9 a.m., you're going to be doing math at 10 a.m., that sort of thing. You can just set the start time, set the duration, set what days of the week you're doing this subject on. So if you want to do just Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you can do that. And then again, you can set to skip no school days. So this is something that we set up when I started my account. I set that I'm not doing school on weekends, and I set what dates I'm going to be taking a break from school. So Christmas break, Thanksgiving, spring break, those sorts of things. That's all saved to my account so that the system knows not to schedule lessons on those days. So with all of that, I can just go ahead and hit schedule all lessons. It's just going to take a few seconds, and all of those lessons are going to be scheduled out for me for the entire year. So now I have everything in order. I know what sections we're going to be doing on what days, so I can just get up and do it. I have all the page numbers in there as well. And yeah, as you can see, it has skipped. This is the week of Christmas. I set this as this is our Christmas break, these 2 weeks right here, and there's no lessons. But as we get out of Christmas break, you can see that it picks right back up where it left off with 3.2. See, we were at 3.1, we went to 3.2, and it continues on for the rest of the year. And then again, I'm just gonna go ahead and batch edit and get rid of all of these so we can take a look at what it looks like to schedule just the week. So this will just take a second. There we are. And then it just takes a second to refresh. We just made a pretty big change. So we'll just wait for that. There we go. And now let's go ahead and auto schedule just the week. And you can see that it's going to bring up the current week. So you can do this on every Sunday if you'd like. And I can select what days I want to do this on. Let's say we're just going to do Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Let's be a little bit more specific this time. We're going to say it's 11:45. It's going to take an hour and 15 minutes. So we're going to schedule those 3 days, and they're just going to go in order again with the lessons that are remaining. So if, for example, I just scheduled 2.1, 2.2, and 2.3. If I go back to this lesson plan and I hit auto schedule again, and I just go to this week, let's say I want to do every day of the week this time, and I'm going to do 3 p.m. for 2 hours. Let's go ahead and schedule these. So now it's going to pick back up where it left off with the next available lesson. So we did 2.1, 2.2, and 2.3. And then it picked right back up at 2.4, 2.5, 2.6, and so on. So it continues to refresh and just take in the next lesson. And yeah, so that is how you use the lesson plans to quickly schedule out your week. And again, like I said, you can print things out very easily. So you can very quickly schedule and get everything organized. All right. Thank you for watching.